Hi, I'm at our quilting bee today, and what we're going to do is a short demo on how to make continuous bias binding. Bias binding is really important because it wears better than cutting bias across the straight of the grain. In this demo, I've already prepared my fabric, which is, I'm assuming all quilters already know how to cut off the selvages and square up both ends very nicely. Then you're going to take your fabric and you're going to fold it so that we have a square on our fabric by making one corner, and then you will have a little extra of about 9 inches, 8 or 9 inches, and you will take it to your ironing board and you will press the diagonal fold. The purpose of the diagonal fold is to give you a mark for where you'll do your first cut. So now we just take a straight ruler and your rotary cutter, and you will cut on that line that you pressed to give you a guide, so that we can get now a diagonal, or as we say in the fabric trade, bias cut on this fabric that you're preparing for your strips. Stop. Okay, now I've divided the square, so I have two pieces, but one is a triangle and the other is a triangle with a little tail on it. The tail will be somewhere between 6 and 8 inches, and the best way to get rid of this is to measure it, which comes out to 7 inches will do fine. And so you're going to go across and you're going to cut off this 7 inches so that you have a triangle that matches your other triangle. So I'm cutting off my extra 7 inches to turn this odd-shaped piece into another perfect triangle that matches the first triangle that I've cut away. So now I have 2 of these. I'm going to lay them down. You can show it over here. I'm going to lay it down so one is right side up and the other is right side up, but we're going to face them opposites. So we now have a parallelogram. If you all remember your geometry, excuse me. Can you see the shape of that? And then you're going to flip the one over top of the other, and that will be seamed together in a 1/4 inch seam. We'll take that to the machine and we'll be back to you in a minute. Got it? All right, we're sitting here at the sewing machine, and when you match them up, you're going to need about somewhere between 5/8 and 4/8 inch seam to make it come out nice and even. I know it isn't. We need this machine on straight stitch. Please don't zigzag it, or you will not be happy with the outcome. Thank you. So now we've taken our 2 pieces, our 2 triangles, and sewn them together, and we end up with a trapezoid. The seam has been pressed open, and we're going to put our first point down on the table in front of us. And this is one of the major important steps, is to put a 2.5 inch mark from the corner in, because this is where we're going to line up the next piece that's going to be joined to it. We do not sew edge to edge, but we start at 2.5 inches in from the very edge. So if you'll zoom in, you'll see that I'm going to line up the seam that I just made previously and put it exactly on that 2.25 inch mark, and pin it in place. Take it back to your sewing machine, and this time you must sew a perfect quilter's 1/4 inch seam. We'll be back to you after we finish at the sewing machine. We're back to the sewing machine and we're sewing those two pieces back together at 1/4 inch. That's enough. So I've taken it to the sewing machine. I've started my seam 2 1/4 inches off from the one side, and I've sewn up that seam, and then I've pressed it open. Now comes the magic of this style. Actually, I just misspoke, and what we really need is the start where I put it at 2 1/2 inches, which is going to be the width of your bias. We now end up with the tube, which looks kind of odd, and I've seen this done on other tutorials, and always they've taken the time to draw a million straight lines to follow so that you can cut. This method eliminates that need, but you do need to have a personal size table, a small cutting mat, a rotary cutter, and a nice little 12-inch ruler to get this accomplished. Because what we're going to do is we're going to pull this over the end of the table to give us a place to cut. And you're going to cut from the left side, and you're going to start at the beginning where you put the offset 2 1/2 inch seam. Yeah. Can y'all see that? That is where we're going to do our cutting. So we're going to start with the first cut, 2 1/2 inches in from the right side, left side, excuse me. And we're going to continue to cut around and around and around. Stop. Continue to cut around, pushing the fabric forward as you cut. Whoops. Pushing the fabric forward as you cut, lying down your ruler again to the left at your 2 1/2 inches. And you're going to continue pushing the fabric away from you, rotating it around the table, and eventually you will come to the other end and you will have enough bias, binding, cut without any marking except your little 2 1/2 inch mark at the beginning of your last seam, and you will go around and you will have enough wonderful bias binding already seamed end to end without any other markings, and you will have enough to do a large lap, a small twin sized quilt. Thanks for watching. Leave me a comment if you need any help. Thank you.
She may be weary, young girl, they do get weary. They're wearing out that same old jacket, yeah. But when she gets weary, I want to try a little tender, yeah. Ooh, she's there waiting, just anticipating the thing that she'll never possess, yeah. But while she's there waiting, and without them, she'll try a little tenderness.